What's up, everybody? We got the train going by right now. Did you hear it?
Gritty. A gritty backdrop.
That was the same train. Do you remember, like 20 years ago, that the circus was in town? And they were transporting lions and tigers and shit? And one of the tigers got off and ended up in, like, Derby.
No shit.
Yeah, man. It got all the way from where we're at now. And just followed along, I guess, Derby Creek, and then they kind of darted it.
Dude, I don't remember that.
Yeah, all the kids, like, in school, like, where they were told after school had to stay inside because there was a loose tiger. Dude, I don't know if I made this up or if this really happened, but because I've said this to a few people, and they're like, what are you talking about? But it's vivid in my brain.
Well, good thing we can Google. I mean, HT, is there any way to see is there any record
Is there any record?
Because I almost asked, did it eat anyone? And I'd be like,
no,
it had to have not, because we definitely would have remembered.
Absolutely
the
not.
Story. I don't remember anything
people.
about this.
I remember it kind of got caught in the Derby Collingdale cemetery. Right
This
near Little
urban
Flower
legend.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. Everything's like, I'm watching this show now called Blackbird. It's really good, but he's a serial killer, but he's also has like things that are half real and half not in his head. This might be that.
Is it a documentary about that guy that sits on the edge of the bed, the meme guy, Blackbird?
Were you thinking of the Cougar incident? Like there was
the Cougar.
That's what it was.
Yeah. All right. I'm not a
circus with cougars.
Well, that's even better. But
some major whisper down the lane vibes going on.
That's Tavola's, baby.
Oh yeah,
Tavola. Cougar City.
I think
where divorcees go to play
and sip rosé.
It is, man.
Till the break of day.
Now it's kind of like a. No, the divorcees still go to play there.
I haven't been there in a long time. Pre-COVID.
Yeah, man. I've been there. I'm actually there every second and fourth Sunday, so it's a good little spot for me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But yeah, there was a Collingdale Cougar, right? And it wasn't one of my aunts.
Interestingly enough, though, it did end up getting fingered on the side of my house. Also.
Who is the mom? I don't know, HT.
Some people.
How are you, HT?
He's giggling over there. He's having a ball. Look at him. How's he doing? He's doing great.
You're like tickling him.
Fucking rascal.
Coming up from work again tonight.
How was it, Mike?
Beautiful, man. Beautiful.
Windows down or windows up with AC on? Were your windows down?
My AC doesn't work.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So my
I
windows
associate you with
especially the last couple of weeks, like 99 degrees, it's been horrible. And it's like it's an internal issue. Like it's way deep into the car, so I'm just like, whatever. I've been through worse.
I don't think you've ever had AC in your cars.
I don't think I've ever. Even the new ones somehow just like. Yeah. I mean, I rarely have new cars, but eventually I'll have no AC.
Mike, we drive together maybe once a summer. Not this summer, unfortunately, but we normally have had gigs in the past. But are you a shirt off guy? I mean, if this AC doesn't work, and like not when I'm in the car, you keep your shirt on, but when you're alone,
I haven't taken my shirt off
at all.
Even in the shower, it's the last thing I take off. Sex, like it's been on for 20 years now. I don't know if there's ever been a time where I've been comfortable with my shirt off. Couple times when I'm really feeling myself, like a handful of times in the last 20 years, I'll just be like, shirt off. This is it. This is who you got. And then I'll wise up and I'll keep it on.
Yeah, I feel like in age, like I guess give less of a fuck. Yeah. I clearly haven't had any beach or pool time yet this summer, but no one hesitates to take my shirt off. Fucking 42-year-old taxpayer father.
I've had to act like I don't like the ocean my whole life because of it. I fucking love the ocean.
Oh, yeah?
It's it's the best I've ever felt in my life. It makes my face feel good. It makes but I have to act like, nah, sorry, I don't want to go.
Yeah,
if I just wasn't built like a woman, like a big, I'm broad, and I'm also like, side heavy. So I got no, I have to act like I don't like the water. I fucking love the water. I would be in another life. I'd be a surfer or like a guy who rents jet skis.
I'm just picturing you splashing around.
It's my true self.
So happy.
It's my true self. It's my true self.
I've never seen your true self, and that kind of saddens me a little bit.
I haven't either. No, I haven't either, and I know it is. And one of these days.
Well, you know what? What a great transition here. We're going to be developing our Patreon real soon, kids. So maybe we'll take Monty to the beach. Sign up, be a supporter on our Patreon. Coming soon, kids.
That one will only be audio, though. There will be no video.
Oh, I beg to differ.
All right, fine. Okay, fine. I'll do it.
I think that's the draw, pal.
All right. Well,
then
I'll take my shirt off. I'll take my shirt off at the beach on the Patreon.
Yeah, we can do all sorts of fun adventures and stuff like that.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, man, my shirt's coming right off. And I'm looking at the shot, too. This is technologically pretty amazing, but we've got a live shot, a live perspective of the camera angle. So you're right over here.
I see that.
And I look like I'm melting. I got to get it together. Any personal trainers out there, feel free to reach out to your boys at Hoagie Time or your boy. Hoagietimepodcast at gmail.com. We're currently accepting any and all free offers, whether it's clothing, whether it's sandwiches.
I'm actually about 10 down, and I'm still fat, but that's how out of shape I got. But now that we've started this, I always need something creative to kind of get me going. Once I started with my new, it kicked me out of a little rut,
Yeah.
I get sad, whenever I get a relationship and then I'm out of it. Like, I'm sad for about 6 to 9 months, and then I'm back. And you guys seen the race ever since, I've dropped about 8 pounds.
And this resurgence has been quite inspirational.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm
winning
stopped
foot
on the
races,
streets.
there's a major league aura about you.
Thanks.
Words out.
Thanks.
You're not taking any bullshit from someone that's not going to someone's going to disrespect the pod.
Yeah.
Walking around like you got 2 dicks these days, pal.
I do. I feel like I have 2 dicks. But it's a great feeling, so I'm just going to go up from here, but really
So once you go down, I mean, I'll speak for myself. Once you lose 10, 15 pounds, that's when it comes back on. I finally figured it out. Now I can let go a little bit.
I'm so drastic with it. Like, I'll gain 40, and I know once I start, I got to get down 30 or 40, and then I go back up 40. It's weird. My swings are different. I'll know once I get to 10, I start feeling good, and then if you feel more attractive, then I'll go down. I know I'll be down 20 or 30 in a couple of months, but it's when I'm at a good spot, and then I stay for a couple months. Then just one little hiccup, one little sad thought. Boom! I'm eating pizza. I'm eating wings, and I'm not doing it. It's great, dude. But I mean, my closet, I have sizes I'm from XL to 3X. Right now, I'm 2.
I'm 2 now too.
Yeah, but
some of my 2Xs don't fit that nice. I haven't purchased any 3Xs yet, but
oh yeah, I got some big
but
stuff.
I can if it'll make you proud.
Yeah,
I can beef it up.
Yeah.
Beefcake.
Why don't I go down, you go up?
Well, we've talked about this forever, Mike.
Yeah,
we're always
true.
at a combined weight of 250. You and I. And if one goes down a little bit, the other one's blowing up.
Yeah.
Perfect case scenario, we're both sitting around 275. But then it goes elsewhere.
I'm at my best around 250, 245. I got down to 225 a couple months ago or a couple years ago, but I look like I had cancer.
You were out at night dressed like Freddie Mercury, feeling yourself on a flamboyant level.
Yeah. Now I just wear fucking Phillies jerseys. The fat guy, that's the fat guy wardrobe, jerseys.
Someone had a great comment on one of the forums, and they said you should call this podcast Dad Pod, like Dad Bod. I thought that was funny.
It was hilarious.
I'm just kidding.
Sad, but hilarious. But I mean, it's not with me and eating and weight gain. It's not beer. It's not alcohol with me. It's always food. I'm not a big, heavy. I drink light beer usually. I mean, I'm a means to an end kind of guy. With shots and all that. If I want to get to a certain spot, I'll drink heavy. But if not, I won't drink at all. So it's not really, I don't really gain weight through drinking. I just gain through these.
Maybe the move this fall, this
I'll
winter.
probably eat both.
Maybe the move is just have the glass of whiskey and just sip on it. Just work on 1 or 2 slowly all night.
I do like whiskey. I like Jameson. I don't know if it's a connection with the old country, because.
More than likely.
More than likely because my, where I go back to. But Jameson, it makes me feel a certain way. It gives me a nice
angry?
little kick. Yeah, angry. Doesn't
Angry,
start that
strong.
way. Strong, angry, fast.
Unable to take direction. Unable to accept authority.
I have a major authority problem.
What is the ingredient in whiskey? I mean, it's definitely the alcohol, but why whiskey makes everybody fucking
something about brown liquor. I think brown liquor is no good. I don't know what it is. It's just
It's such a game of Russian roulette. The right amount of shots is perfect.
yeah. What's your drink? You're a craft beer guy, right?
I've been, and then you just get to the point where you just get, it's too much. It becomes too much. Like a few years ago, it was all, let's try this beer, let's try that beer. I haven't had this, I haven't had that. I appreciate I appreciate a well-crafted beer.
Right.
I'll be the first to admit I've got extensive background in the beer sales world and such.
Oh yeah,
Level 1 Cicerone.
Absolutely do.
No big deal.
You know what I like? I'm a big red wine guy, but like my last relationship, we drank it all the time. Like it was very settling and soothing at home.
It's sexy. Just to work
sexy.
on a red wine.
It's sexy too. Yeah, you get a little giddy, silly. You start tickling. But I would drink that and I enjoyed it. But some nights I would drink a couple bottles.
Yeah. It goes down.
I have a scar on my nose.
Right.
From I don't know what happened, but I had like 4 bottles of wine or something, and I ended up going out in the backyard where the dog was because it was cold. It was winter, and the dog didn't come in or something. All I remember is falling somewhere outside, and came back in, and the next morning I still have that indent. Like it's like I don't remember what happened, but there's a big scar on my nose.
Did it bruise? Did it bleed?
It scabbed. It just scabbed immediately.
Immediate
It wasn't
scab.
like blood. Yeah, it was
And
just
a permanent indent.
permanent indent. And it reminds me, like, I don't black out often, but that was scary.
I'm no doctor, but that's AIDS, Mike.
That's AIDS. You have 6 months to live.
Well, yeah, you had 6 months to live.
That was then. It's about 6 months now.
Whoa. Where does this go? Join the Patreon.
Yeah, man. So, yeah, this week, I got some gigs this weekend, kids. Saturday, I have a private party. That's right. It's in Springfield. So if any of you slutty Springfield moms,
Whoa.
you swinger Springfield moms, you know who you are. You see him at the Vola, but the in crowd.
Just peek your head out the window.
Yeah, the
Listen
Springfield
for the
crew.
amplified rock and roll.
Yeah, so if you're in Springfield, just go outside. You'll hear me. And Sunday, I am back at JT Brewski's.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, my Sunday spot. Everybody who's played there at Sunday since I've been there. You know how I used to play at Brewski's for 9 years straight every Sunday. Every single person who's played since I haven't been there, I've harassed. I've called and harassed.
It's part. I mean,
Yeah,
I would expect nothing less.
Yeah, they need to know that it's my night.
And you've got a lot of time on your hands.
I have a ton
Generally.
of time. Generally, a ton of time on my hands. Yeah. So I just let them know I'm not happy about the situation. And they're like, "Yo, dude, what are you talking about?" I'm like, "You know what the fuck." So, but I'm back because, all wounds heal.
Yeah.
So I'm back there every first Sunday of the month. So I'll be at JT Brewski's from 4 to 7, but I might stay a little longer. How about you, Mike? Hef?
Yeah, please save my Christian name for the office. I have one gig this weekend. This past weekend of gigs was awesome. It was like
Do you need money?
No, I don't need money,
All right,
Mike. But
all right.
thank you.
You're welcome.
And you know that when I do need it, I'll ask off camera, of course.
Absolutely.
You've always been like a father to me, Mike. Appreciate it, dog.
You got it.
Yeah, I had 3 good gigs this past weekend. Barnaby's Westchester on Friday. Always nice to be up there. I went to school there. I was kind of a legend there back in the day.
Where, Westchester?
Yeah, no big deal. Then Saturday, I was at
Do this
Fainting
in memory of
Goat.
me.
The Fainting Goat. It was a lot of fun there. Took some footage there. HT came through. Got some video. Got some audio. Maybe do like some kind of like electronic press kit for the music, which should be pretty dope.
Cool.
And then Sunday, Barnaby's Havertown. It was yesterday. And Rob Carroll came through and was cooking once again. Shout out Rob Carroll. Shout out Barnaby's Havertown.
So that's where you were last week. Where this weekend you
This upcoming week, I'm only at Barnaby's. I've got no Friday.
Sunday,
I've got no Saturday.
Gotcha.
But money talks. Hit a boy up if you have an event or something where you're
any
looking for
private party.
something. Any private party. I do have a price. Just get at me. We'll figure it out.
Well, that is cool. That is cool. Yeah, that's where I'll be. I'll be at Brewski Sunday. You'll be at Barnaby's. Hell, maybe we'll meet up later.
Probably. Most likely. But then Sunday morning, I'm doing some inner city work like that I like to do.
Still doing the cleanups?
Yeah, but that's as far as I'm going to go into it.
Yeah,
you
okay.
understand.
It's not
about what I do on my own time here. Although the shit I do is
It's about the children.
It's about the children, and it's pretty enriching for everyone's lives.
So yeah, did you hear this story about Deshaun Watson?
I heard a little bit about it.
Yeah.
I don't know what the background at all, but
the dude's like 25. Like he was a creep. Like at least 25 women he would get massages from, and then basically like lean over until like they gave him like a happy ending. So he gets suspended for 5 games. Dude bets on his team to win last year for $1,500. He gets paid millions a year, suspended for the year. Jeez. Yeah, it's like so backwards. You would think, assaulting women would be, a little higher on the list. I mean, in gambling, I know a little bit about gambling. I used to take bets. It's nothing. It's nothing. It's not a crime. It's nothing. You're providing a service.
Especially if you're betting for your team to win. Like, you're not fucking losing the game on purpose. Like that's shady.
Right. And
if you're betting on your team to win, like, you're still trying.
Pete Rose. You see that Pete Rose is allowed to go to the Phillies?
That means a lot to me, yeah.
Yeah, you bet on your team to win. Like, I get the counter, argument is that you may be handling your pitching staff differently, but still you're trying to make your team win. Like, you might be going with a guy longer and causing him more harm and injury. So that's the one thing that makes a little sense. But, what Deshaun Watson did, literally, like, he treated the football locker rooms like they were washy-washies. Like every masseuse would be like, and he's a big...
Oh, these are team masseuses?
These are team, but he would do the team ones and try and then sometimes strike out, and then he would get his own personal ones because he didn't want it, through the team. And, all the coaches were like, all right, well, I guess he just likes his own masseuses. No, he would do it through a company that he thought, he could work them. He could work the little girls.
What a shady company.
Yeah.
They definitely started getting complaints after visit 1, and if you just racked it up to shut up, Destiny, just go to do your fucking shift.
Exactly, yeah.
Shut the fuck up and go massage this guy.
And now he's on the Browns, and he has a 5-game suspension, and the dude that just gambled, and gambling's everywhere now. It's not like the old days where you called a bookie and you had to meet a guy in an alley and all that kind of stuff. And some of the times they were, you might have bet with connected people that were rougher or whatever. Now it's on your phone. It's legal. It's not.
And it used to be something that you would kind of not scream from the mountaintops. It's almost like catching a smoke or whatever. I gamble a little bit on the side. I was watching the Phillies game the other night, and the commercial comes on, and it's I can't name who the guy is, but I recognize him as a former pro athlete. Maybe it's Drew Brees. Mm-hmm. And he comes out of nowhere. He's like, hey, I get the sweet action on my phone mid-game at FanDuel, But, it's just so casual. Yeah. He's like, I've got my odds here mid-game and blah, blah, blah. It's like, dude, this is kind of derelict behavior.
But not anymore.
No.
It's normalized.
Super open. Yeah. They'll show the lines at the bottom of the screen.
Yeah, the company I work for is Point Bet or something like that. They have their own company too. That Allen Iverson is the guy that represents it. Yeah, yeah.
So now the gambling's becoming legalized. Weed's becoming legalized. There's a lot of people in prison that just shouldn't be there anymore.
Yeah, I went there for 7 days for it. Jesus Christ, nothing other than taking bets, and I haven't been the same ever. I don't trust anybody. I'm just kidding, but 7 days for that. It's just a racket, man. Who would
It's literally a racket. Isn't that what racketeering is?
It's a racket, yeah. But it was just a money grab for the cops. At some point they go in. They thought drugs were, and there wasn't any.
We don't have to get into it.
Yeah,
but I feel like they just took it for a photo op, and I think that the use of force was not warranted. It was too much. They were trying to show off.
Yeah, there was a time. Yeah, that was wild. It was,
and I haven't quite forgiven them for it.
Yeah, but 10 short years later, it's nothing. It's kind of like weed, Like the dude from the mob, Martirano, is the Long John Martirano's son, did 40 years for pot. He was the longest in the country of nonviolent crime. And now he got out like 5 years ago, and he runs like a weed dispensary in South Philly. Yeah. Just totally fine.
Yeah. This is one of those transitionary periods in time where there's no playbook for this either. And the whole idea about the dispensary is, well, I don't want to go down this rabbit hole. But I love how it's medicine. It's medicine, and it is medicine. It's medicine.
Absolutely.
But I love how they're like, oh, your Strawberry Crush number 69 is ready for pickup, sir. And it doesn't come with like intake instructions. Like you get a prescription filled and it's take this milligram once or twice a day. It's just the air. Whatever you want to do with it, let's go.
It's so much better than like the prescriptions, like the opiates and the Xanax and all this stuff and the Valium that they're prescribing people.
Yeah.
And like, dude, just give them weed. And like everybody's fine.
Everyone's fine.
But
no
for
one's
so
fighting.
long, it was criminalized, and it's wild. That's why like the gambling, the marijuana, they're not hurting anybody.
Yeah,
they're like vices. They're more like services. They're not vices.
Right. And as they become legalized or decriminalized on some, it's not like there's an uptick in crime either.
None.
Before the dispensaries on Baltimore Pike opened up, everyone's like, oh, it's going to turn everything to crime. It's going to be ridiculous. It's the same exact thing.
I've never met an aggressive pothead.
I think the Popeyes next to the dispensary is more of a magnet for unsavories.
Absolutely.
Than the dispensary.
Yeah, man.
Like the dispensary is great, and they got like their security guard up front. And I have lots of questions about these security guards.
I see them. They
lots of questions. It must be a company that sources them.
Right.
Sometimes they're not armed, and sometimes it looks like the guy just parachuted in from like fucking Ukraine. And he's like just armed to the teeth and guns on the side of him, and you're like,
shout out Ukraine,
shit, dude! Shout out Ukraine.
Viva Ukraine.
Yeah. Fuck yeah, dude.
No, I feel about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that's a little wild, that pot store.
I have a theory on why you see the armed guards and the non-armed guards.
Love to hear it.
Money drop. Because remember, there's no credit cards. It's all cash.
Mm-hmm.
So, Monday you have, the short guy there. It's like, hey, go park there and whatever.
Yeah.
Wednesday, you got your AKs and you got everything else. And it's like, oh, here comes the money drop. Because,
interesting.
They're probably dropping 1,000 an hour. And they're easy.
Yeah.
I have dreams about fucking not robbing a bank, but like making a score, like kind of like a truck or something, and I come by and I take up the bags, like it's recurring, like I make it, like I get it, I make it, like and I spend cash the rest of my life. Like it's so real to me. Like I think about it all the time because of that story years ago about the dude from South Philly who found the $1 million off the truck, and then he went to the mob to try to wash it. They're like he was a druggie and all that. So they're like, dude, we're robbing you now. Like you got to keep that money and just spend cash for the rest of your life. Like you don't go, trying to trust people you don't know. I could do it, man. I could live, take vacations. I mean, all I eat is Imperial Pizza anyway. So I'll just pay cash. I'll get 7 of them a week instead of 5.
Tony's Bar is still cash only. So that'll work out really well. Just make that the shout out Tony's Bar.
Best pork in the city, right? Yeah. Yeah.
Best service. I mean, this is the guy where the owner is actually the cook and actually the server.
Yeah.
I mean, he's putting his stamp on everything.
Yeah,
it's not like he's not on site and there's like a GM that's unrelated. It's Tony's bar. It's Tony's living room. And you go in there and it's his atmosphere.
We had some great times. That was always like some of the more serious coke users growing up in Collingdale. That was a beautiful. I mean, there was no lock on the door. So if you went in as a kid and they were doing something, you just kind of had to look down, wait for them to be done.
Quick around here.
Yeah. That's the North Street Posse. Remember that was their headquarters?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, right across from the trolley tracks. I was there not too long ago. Got hammered. Had a great time. It was meatball day, I believe. Tony had meatballs and sausage going on a long roll. Beautiful.
Yeah, I miss playing those kind of places, doing gigs at Tony's.
That's a real throwback bar.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of history there.
Philadelphia Magazine named it one of the greatest dive bars, and Tony was upset. We just didn't get it. He was upset about it.
Why?
What's it mean? I'm a dive bar. Like, we do things right here. We do our best, and we're not a dive. And I was like, no, like that's a term of endearment these days.
It is, yeah.
I was like, there's so many corporate bars out there. I was like, a dive bar means a mom and pop operation that does things the way that they used to be done. I go, it's actually a really great compliment.
And he, well, hey, if you're smoking still. I mean, come on. You're still, it's
you're
kind
gonna
of
be
divey.
There. Yeah, I prefer real.
It is real, yeah, but I mean, it's still smoking, and it's a good time around 7 a.m.
Yeah. If you can freely smoke cigarettes somewhere and you're rocking at 7 a.m.
Yeah, I went once after like a party till like 6 a.m. and I was so paranoid and out of place because those people are fresh out of the shower.
Yeah.
Drinking, and so they're bright-eyed, and I was like at the end of the run, so like right away I'm like, all right, I gotta get out of here. I don't want to see like an uncle. It's very possible.
Last time I was there, Biden came on the TV, and they all,
no.
A lot of guys start screaming unsavory things towards the television, implying that the president was more on the feminine spectrum. As far as demeanor, whatever, you can fill in the blanks yourself. You can imagine what they were saying.
Yeah.
So they said, let's turn this off. Let's get this off TV. And then I'm not kidding. After getting that blank off the TV, they went into a Village People set on the jukebox. And no one even sniffed the irony of it, and they were jamming. I'm not making this up. YMCA came on, and they're all dancing. Then In the Navy comes on. They're dancing and singing, and they're trying to like compete against each other, like who knows the words better. And then Tiny Tim, Tiptoe Through the Tulips, came on, and I wasn't even familiar with that song. It sounds so weird that I had to Shazam it.
But Biden was the queen?
Biden was the queen, and then they went into this whole like, it was like a musical play mega mix.
Jesus Christ.
And they just went into this crazy synchronized dance and guys were hooking up.
I'm no Biden fan, believe me, but I kind of feel bad for him. He's just so old. Like there's no sticking up for him or protect. Like the dude's fucking dying, like mentally dying.
You get two choices. It's just not enough.
Yeah, man. Like I kind of feel like, oh my God, this is like the best we got.
But like, there's so many younger people that are sharp and can speak. Like McConaughey gave a speech like a few months ago, and people were losing their shit. Oh, he should run for president just because he got through a couple paragraphs without like going off topic and looked handsome.
Yeah. Jon Stewart just had made some comments, and like, he's eloquent. Like he speaks, and the emotion like shines through. Like, where are these guys? Like, why are our best guys like just pieces of shit?
Well, there's always people that are better. It's like with a lot of jobs. It's not like there's some kind of, and maybe in the future this is how it'll work, but it's not like there's some kind of artificial intelligence that maps out every possible candidate for a job and then selects the best person for that job.
I thought I got my job because of that, but go ahead.
No, Mike. The future is not yet.
Applied?
No, but like, of course there's better people to be president. Of course there can be better people to be like, whatever, man. Like, I don't know, like some of the police, they're not the greatest people to ever be police, but they showed up and they applied. They were just there. So of course there's better people that could be president, but who can just take off their job for 2 years and campaign, and who's got the money to just go around the country and campaign and not work for 2 years? You have to put yourself in that arena to even be considered.
Basically the pool is Congress, the House, those people. That's the pool, the governors.
If there was some,
and they're already flakes to begin with,
dude. If there was some incredible like AI program out there that,
I thought you meant AI like Allen Iverson.
Oh, yo, shout out AI, shout out Jewels,
yeah, Rob Boogie.
But like, let's say there's some program that just analyzes everyone and it says, okay, the best candidate for president of the United States is the guy Jim that lives 3 doors down here. But Jim's not running. Jim goes to work every day. Jim works hard.
Yeah, well, that's the problem, right?
You know, maybe he's the best guy, but like he's not campaigning. There's no campaign trail for.
I just don't understand why people can't just be honest. Like, why can't you like take Bernie Sanders a few years ago? Like, sure, maybe that was a little too close to social or democratic socialism, or but at least he fucking told like what he believed, and he never went off that. Like, even when like all these like new media kind of new topics came up that took over the news cycle, every tweet from him during all that stuff was just like, the top 1% is like, he never believes in one thing, he believes it to be true, and that's what he says, and that's what he does. Like, you know, like there's so many, like with Ted Cruz, for example, like Donald Trump is like, you know, and then he's like, I support, you know, it's like he's one of the worst people in the world.
So bitch, dude. That's all time like bitchy.
Yeah. And now like he's just he's a total like weasel. I don't know. He's my least favorite. And
not a weasel in the cool respect like Pauly Shore. Like that's cool. No, that's weasel. Cool, yeah. This is suck weasel.
And then there's the there's it's happening all over. Everything's a photo op. Everything's a story. But like when you can get honest people, like it's so hard. Like that's why I guess there's so many problems.
And like honesty isn't valued as much anymore as flash is. Like what's flashy. I mean, we're also wired to just respond to like whatever cool thing is flashing on our phones.
Exactly.
That people don't care like what's honest and what's true. It's what's entertaining.
Yeah. And what like that's like the whole thing. There's two truths now. That's not what I heard. Like no, there's the truth and there's not the truth. There's two things.
Yeah.
True or false. Not your true and my true. Like when did that happen?
Alternative facts.
Yeah, what is that?
Yeah.
Like even like
things are warped.
A couple of years ago, before Trump, the Republican candidate, John Kasich, he told the truth. He was honorable. He told the truth. He wasn't perfect, but like you could have a conversation with him and he'd listen. Like that became so unsexy that like everybody was like, nah, pussy. Like even the Republican, nobody would get behind him.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I guess I got to go with the Dems now because these guys are so fucking radical that they don't like that they think I'm a pussy for trying to talk to people and find common ground.
And there's like no such thing as a scandal anymore. Everyone's just so beat down with whatever. Remember Dan Quayle? His political career ended when he misspelled potato.
Dude, that's
misspelled potato. Now it'd be like that's my guy there.
Yeah,
that's my guy. You're damn right he can't spell. Fuck that pussy shit. You're damn right he can't spell. Loves his country though.
Yeah,
like you'd have people fervently being all about that now.
I think what you're saying is when that happened was when what's it called got elected, Trump, and then Stormy Daniels comes out like 3 months later and it's like, we don't care.
Yeah.
Dude, that's what Trump was.
That's my guy. Yeah, you bet your ass he hit.
I got to give it to him. That's what he was a genius on. He was just like, nope, don't go and put your tail between your legs. Don't apologize and just be like, fight. And guess what? It changed the whole cycle of things. People used to get in trouble like Clinton. If Bill Clinton would have just been like, nah, yeah, man, I'm a man. I'm a red-blooded man from Arkansas. It would have went away in a week. Yeah, or like, but like Trump was just such a distorted kind of like mind. Like he brought out like a lot of new things that like are just a part of politics now, where you just don't admit anything. You just kind of say like, you got the guy in Florida, Gates, like literally with like 17-year-old, and it's just like, yeah, no, it didn't happen, and like just keep saying no, and then let the news cycle switch.
It's 24-hour news is to blame. When all you did was when everyone just huddled around the breakfast table with a newspaper or read the newspaper in the morning and that was it. You got off that news train, and that was it.
Yeah,
you weren't peeking in on it all the time. They didn't have to fill 24 hours of programming where they've got all these dudes just riffing on every little thing.
Stormy Daniels,
you're goddamn right he hit it. Fuck yeah. Yeah, my guy can't spell potato.
I would like this. It would be awesome if Biden fucked somebody, though. I want to see a little spice. I want to see him back.
Yeah.
Sure he has. And well, his son does all the bad shit, right?
Yeah, like things have been a lot more boring, but this isn't an endorsement, but things have been a lot more boring, and that's what I wanted.
Yeah, true. No, absolutely. It's what I wanted too. But I didn't expect the guy to fall asleep. You know what I mean? And like, I don't care that his son does fucking drugs. I think that's great. But him, I don't even. I think it's mean when people like. So when you get old, you get old. You lose your thing. Like it's not a cool attack. You know, the guy's getting up there.
Yeah.
But his son seems like a great time.
It seems like an awesome party time. But I do agree, man. I think like a scandal would be awesome, like a sex scandal, obviously. Nothing unpatriotic, like not about like secrets or whatever, like state secrets, but just like
a good old Monica Lewinsky, Bill Clinton,
like an every woman, like or like just like or like a real thick bad bitch, just be like, yo,
my bitch bad, my bitch hood,
yeah. And Biden just been like, yeah, that's no, I'm not here to talk about that today, but. Yeah, I smashed.
Yeah. She's from Claymont, Delaware.
Yeah. Look, that's not what we're here to talk about today. I did smash, and that's a private matter between me and my family. But, dog's going to do what a dog's going to do. Next question.
USA,
and just keep it going. And be like, oh. Oh.
Yeah, man.
But, yeah, shout out to Patriots everywhere. First responders, Americans, whether home or abroad. Thank you for supporting Hoagie Time.
Only the Christian ones.
Okay.
Shout out Hoagie Time. Thank you guys all for listening. We can expect we're gonna start having guests.
Yeah.
We're gonna start having guests here for the future Hoagie Time segment.
We're not ready to reveal who yet, but just rest assured, it's gonna be a lot of fun. The fun's gonna continue. Even more so when we get some of our buds through. It's going to be awesome.
All right, so thanks for the support. Peace out.